Welcome aboard. Justin here from Swift, Silent, Deadly. I'm sitting here on a nice, sunny Sunday afternoon having a glass of Woodford Double Oaked. I've not drank any Woodford Reserve in quite some time. It's very middle of the road as bourbon goes. There's nothing that really stands out about it. This Woodford Double Oaked is kind of along that same line, but much richer, much deeper, more complex, and frankly, more compelling. It's a little bit sweeter too, I think. In the future, if I do drink Woodford Reserve, it will be this Woodford Double Oaked. We're going to get into a topic that does not mix with alcohol at all. That is a shooting drill, and I never want to muddy this water. I'm not shooting when I'm sitting at my desk drinking bourbon. Bears repeating and pointing out. So the drill that we're going to discuss today is the FBI pistol qualification. This is the qualification adopted in 2019 for special agents of the FBI. They have to qualify at an 80%, and firearms instructor candidates have to qualify at a 90%. I think you'll find this is a fairly easy drill to score an 80% on. Now, I've shown you this video before. I've shown you this drill before a couple of years ago. Why am I doing it again? That's for two, maybe three reasons. We'll see as I start going through them. Number one, it's not in the same format. I want all my videos to be in this format, so I'm redoing this particular drill. Number two, I wanted to show you a wide variety of guns with this drill, and previously I only showed you one. And finally, number three, law enforcement qualifications are frequently touted as something that you could point to in court and say, I meet the standard of the preeminent law enforcement agency in the United States of America. I meet and exceed what's required for them to carry a gun out on the street every day as far as the mechanical skills of operating the firearm. I buy into that. I believe that. This is something that I would want to be able to demonstrate in a court of law if I were forced to use deadly force. And make no mistake, if I use deadly force, I would have no other alternative. I would want to be able to demonstrate that I can shoot at least as well as an FBI agent, if not better. So that's why I bothered to do this. I bothered to do it with different guns for a couple of reasons. One, I carry a lot of these guns frequently. So I shot cold with my Nighthawk Custom 9mm 1911 because that is my primary carry gun. I shot that drill or Qual completely cold. I shot with the SIG P365 XL because that's my backup carry gun. My 1911 was in the shop for a good chunk of October and November. That was the gun I carried in its absence. And then I shot a variety of other guns. I shot a revolver, Smith & Wesson 686. I shot a Keltec P32, which I do carry on a fairly regular basis. I shot the Wilson Combat SFX9, which I'm still working through the review process on. And I shot it with the Glock 48, which is the gun that I keep ready to go in my bug out bag. So all of these guns do see a little bit of carry or home defense use with me sometimes, or have in the past. And what these guns, the disparity between them all demonstrate: a single stack 1911, a double stack 1911, two striker fired guns, a double action only pistol, a subcompact micro pocket mouse 32, a bunch of 9mm, a double action revolver, a gun with an optic. What all these really different guns show ultimately at the end of the day is I can pick up just about anything and score well on this qualification. So if I were to adopt another gun, not shoot the FBI qual, I still think this would be valid to present to say, still shoot at a very high level with, at least on the FBI pistol qualification, with just about anything. So that's why I'm bringing this to you again. And that's why I recommend that you shoot this drill with your carry gun or carry guns and your home defense gun or home defense guns, as the case may be. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into the conduct of the drill. So it's fired at 5 different yard lines, 3, 5, 7, 15, and 25. There are 10 stages of fire. It requires 50 rounds of ammunition. It's intended to be shot on an FBI QIT 99 target. The Q target that I had does not have the same rectangle inside it as the QIT 99, but the bottle is the same. And the bottle, that white silhouette inside the gray background, is what matters. That is the scoring zone. So only count hits within that silhouette as 2 points for a total of 100 points. I personally counted anything outside of that bottle as 0 points. I believe anything in the gray silhouette is still 1 point, and then anything off the target is a total loss of 2, or the dark gray silhouette. Anything outside of that is a total loss of 2 points. Anything over time is a total loss of that round for 2 points. Alternatively, according to Drills, Qualifications, Standards, and Tests by John Dobb, available on krtraining.com. This can also be shot on an IPSC silhouette or an IDPA silhouette, with the down 1 zone or the C zone of an IPSC silhouette being the quote unquote the bottle. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the course of fire. So stage number 1, this is at 3 yards. This is one and only stage at 3 yards. Draw. Fire 3 rounds, strong hand only. Transition the gun to the weak hand only, and fire 3 more rounds. So draw, 3 rounds, transition hands, 3 more rounds, all in a time limit of 6 seconds. I found the hardest part of this, frankly, is getting the cover garment up and getting the gun out strong hand only. Otherwise, making the times weren't too bad. Accuracy is, if you can't hit that target 6 times at 3 yards, you've got maybe other things to focus on than shooting the rest of the FBI qual. But in all seriousness, easy to make the times on this. I think the longest time that I had was 5.76. That was with the SIG P365 XL with the optic. I was looking for the dot. I did not warm up with that gun at all. I picked it up, put it on, and started shooting it right after I shot my 1911. So easily made the times with all the guns. The most challenging was with the SIG, but still pulled out a passing score for sure. No loss of points on this stage. So now we move back to the 5-yard line for 3 separate drills at the 5-yard line. The first of which is to draw and fire 3 rounds in 3 seconds. Now, I did shoot this entire drill from concealment, and I believe it is meant to be shot from concealment. If you don't shoot it from concealment, I believe you're missing an opportunity. If you're still at a skill level where you're not making the times from concealment, that should probably be your goal to work toward, to be able to shoot this drill with a passing score from concealment. Now, on this stage, I passed with all guns except the Kel-Tec P32. I had 1 round that was overtime for a total loss of that round, a loss of 2 points on this drill, 3.08 seconds, so barely over, but over. I was not within the limit. The next stage of fire at the 5-yard line is from the ready position. Fire 3 rounds in 2 seconds. Same number of rounds, 1 second taken off the time to account for us already being out of the holster. Again, this is a drill where I met all the times, had clean runs on all of these. No problems there at all. I will say, I recommend using a low ready with the gun, basically aimed in between the feet. In a low ready, you don't want to cover meat. If I'm justified in putting the muzzle on somebody, I'm going to put it in a definitively in high center chest. That also gives me the ability to keep an eye on the feet, on the hips, on the hands, on the belt line, to be able to see what that person is doing. That person who has made me make the decision to get my gun out of my holster, that's a pretty bold move. I want to be able to see what they're up to. Again, no problems making the times on this. Stage 4, again from the ready, we're going to fire 6 rounds in 4 seconds. That is a thing I like about this FBI qualification. It is multiple round centric. I don't think there's a single drill that is 1 shot or 2 shots. They are all multiple round drills, putting multiple rounds on target. I really appreciate that. You have to use recoil control. And it reinforces the idea that you're not just going to fire 1 shot, come back to a compressed ready position, and come back and yo-yo the gun back out. It may take 3, 4, 5, 6 shots to accomplish the objective of making that person stop trying to kill you. Now, with the Kel-Tec P32, I did drop 1 round outside of the bottle. It could be argued that it broke the line. Interestingly, with this drill, line breaks do not count. The round has to be fully inside the bottle. If it breaks the round, it goes to the next lowest scoring zone. So I'm just going to count that down 2 more points. For my personal scoring, if it's not in the bottle, it's nothing at all. Now we move back to the 7-yard line. Our first drill at the 7-yard line is to fire 5 rounds in 5 seconds. I had no problems making the times here. Again, with the exception of the Kel-Tec P32. I did have a round over time. My total time was 5.29 seconds. So I'll lose that round. So that's now 3 rounds I've lost, 6 points I've lost. And that's because the slide locked prematurely to the rear. I went ahead and cleared that, finished the drill. I did not reshoot that stage of fire. I didn't see the point in it. I just pressed on and finished the drill. The next stage at the 7-yard line is the reload stage. This is the stage that made me very, very nervous about the revolver. So at this stage, we draw. I'm sorry, the stage begins at the ready position. So from the ready, we fire 4 rounds, conduct an emergency or slide lock reload, or with a revolver, just a reload, and fire 4 more rounds. So 4, reload 4 in a time limit of 8 seconds. I thought I would have trouble with the Kel-Tec. I also thought I would have trouble with the revolver just because I'm reloading from a pocket with the Kel-Tec, and the gun's so tiny. And a revolver, for obvious reasons, much more moving parts than a revolver. And you will notice on the revolver, I did bumble it just a little bit because I had a round just not want to fall in. I had to push that round down into the chamber before I could close the cylinder. Still, managed to pass with everything except the Glock 48. The Glock is the gun with which, frankly, I'm the least familiar. It has the least natural pointing characteristics. So it was overtime 8.35. So it was overtime, did lose a round on that, unfortunately. All right, next stage from the 7-yard line, from the ready position, 5 rounds in 4 seconds. Again, love the FBI's focus on multiple round count drills. Our first one at the 7 was 5 rounds in 5 seconds. I think that was just to warm you up, to take a second off and fire 5 rounds in 4 seconds. Now, most of these I was able to do within about 2.5 seconds. The SIG, for whatever reason, I came in at 3.99 seconds, barely slid in the door with the SIG. With everything else, I was coming in at some as low as, I think, 2.06 up to 2.56 or something, somewhere in that nature, somewhere in that realm, between 2 and 2.5 seconds. Most of these drills have ample time built in. So after that third stage of fire at the 7-yard line, we move back to the 15. 2 courses of fire at the 15. The first of which is to draw and fire 3 rounds in 6 seconds. Now you'll notice with the Kel-Tec, I'm drawing from a pocket holster. Everything else I'm drawing from an appendix inside the waistband holster. And with the Kel-Tec, I did make the decision to have my hand in the pocket on the gun, which I think is fair for a pocket pistol. All right, so I didn't show you my first string at the 15, 4.35, 4.35. The next stage of fire at the 15 is 3 yards in 5 seconds, but from the ready position. So again, I'm in that low ready, muzzle between the feet. No problem making the times on this stage of fire with any of these guns. And I think I had perfect accuracy at this distance with all 6 guns as well. Finally, we move back to the 25-yard line. The stage of fire at the 25-yard line, is to fire 4 rounds from a standing position, drop to a kneeling position, and fire 4 more rounds. Now, with the, you may notice with the SIG P365 XL, I only fired 3 rounds from the kneeling. That's because I ran out of ammo. Interestingly, I guess I only loaded 49 rounds, which 2 17-round magazines and a 15 equals 49. But I swear I thought I put one in the chamber and re-topped off the mag. I guess I didn't. Interestingly, I shot this drill a second time on the second range day. So the Nighthawk and the SIG were on Friday afternoon. The other 4 guns were on Saturday morning. I shot the drill again, did the exact same thing, pulled out the exact same score. With the Smith & Wesson 686, you'll also notice that gun does not hold 8 rounds, it holds 6. So I fired 4, conducted a reload on my way to the kneeling, and fired 4 more. Still made the time, no problem whatsoever. With the Kel-Tec P32, I had another malfunction. The slide locked to the rear on me again prematurely, so I cleared that again, still made the time. Now, With all of these, I made the time. There's ample time in 20 seconds to draw and fire 8 rounds and drop to a kneeling at some point during that, even at 25 yards. I did drop rounds with the Kel-Tec and with the Glock 48. Everything else I did fine with. I also dropped rounds with the SIG because I didn't load enough in there. Totally my fault. So how did I do? Let's look at my scores. So with the Nighthawk, I had 100%. With a total time of 45.53. I added up the times on the 3 100% guns to see if the differences would show me anything. They really don't. With the SIG P365 XL, I shot a 98. I have no doubt that I would have shot 100 had I loaded my gun correctly, but we'll never know. With the with the Smith & Wesson 686, no one is more surprised than me, but I shot 100% with the 686. I don't believe my sights are regulated correctly on that gun. I had rounds impacting high and to the right on the target's left. So I did do a little Kentucky windage once I got back to the 25-yard line to kind of regulate for that. With the Kel-Tec P32, I dropped 2 rounds for being over time, and I had 3 rounds that were outside of the bottle, which I just completely excluded. Still brought me in at a 90, a 90. It's still instructor level shooting per the FBI. Or I understand that all their instructors probably go to plenty of additional advanced training, get well above this level, but I believe that's what you have to be at to apply to be an instructor. I don't imagine their instructors are bad shooters or just barely squeaking in a 90. With the Wilson Combat SFX9, I shot a 100 in a total time of 45.88. Now, that's only 0.35 seconds slower than my time with the Nighthawk Custom 9mm 1911. I'm shooting these guns very, very close to each other. And let's move on to the Glock. I had a pretty good go with the Glock, with the exception of dropping 2 shots for having a shot over time. And then at the 25, I don't know. It's my fault. It's my fault, but I've not worked with that Glock enough. The grip, I don't know. The grip angle, I know it's such a cop-out thing to say, but I'm such an inveterate 1911 shooter. The Glock is the least familiar, most foreign thing to me. Obviously, the thing that I had the most problems shooting accurately among the not Kel-Tec P32 sized guns. So what lessons can we draw from this? I do think this is a good drill to shoot. It is a good gauge of skill. They focus heavily on multiple shot engagement. There's a slide lock reload in there. They're shooting from 3 to 25 yards. There's strong hand only shooting. There's weak hand only shooting. I think the times are very generous, but you can stand yourself up perhaps legally to FBI level of shooting, should you ever need to, should you ever be involved in a shooting. This is something demonstrable you can point to if you video it, or at least save your target, take a picture of your target, record all your times, sign it, and have a friend sign it as a witness and date it, or something along those lines. So in any case, thanks for watching, guys. If you're not a patron, please consider subscribing. Man, it helps me more than you can possibly know. I have to pay an annual fee to keep website hosting up. I have to buy this domain and pay for the domain on a yearly basis. I have to pay for Vimeo to keep my videos up, because if I just put them on YouTube, YouTube can demonetize me at any time. A bunch of other expenses in this website, blog, whatever the heck you want to call it. Plus, that doesn't include crap like going to the range, burning ammo, buying targets, target stands, all that sort of stuff. So if you want to help me out, it is greatly appreciated, guys. I really enjoy bringing this content to you. I hope you enjoy watching it. And if there's something you would like to see me do, if there's a shooting drill you'd like to see me do, if you'd like to see more rifle, more shotgun, more revolver, let me know. If you'd like me to do something completely different, let me know. I'm happy to, I'm interested in what you care about. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, until next time, stay dangerous.